The corner, the corner, the corner. Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you will find real, authentic conversation. Organic conversation. Like you're at home with your cousin. It's about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love. And everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey to explore life. Listen, let's sit back and enjoy a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on, a wide range of spectrum of thoughts. My goal is to create a space for all of us to connect, all of us to learn each other, and all of us to communicate. It's really not about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy this. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about the corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Cousin Ed. We are back. We are back. We are back with another great episode of When My Sistah Wins, We All Win. And I am just happy to have another guest on, another queen that's doing big things out here. And once again, as I always say, I don't like social media, but this one right here, I found another gem for y'all. Her name is Coach Jazemine. And I like to find motivational things and find uplifting things and positive things. And my algorithm sent her across my page one morning, and I was just mesmerized. Not only by her beauty, not only by her beauty, but by her message. Her message was amazing, and it was not only for myself, but it was for other ladies, other women, other queens out there, just to know who they are, get a balance in their life, and live life to the fullest. And I wanted to reach out to her, and I followed her, and luckily enough, she was able to respond and listen to the show, and was gracious enough to come on the show and say that she's willing to be with us today. So, Coach Jazemine, welcome to Cousin Ed's Corner.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate you inviting me and having this platform to speak to everyone out there about who I am and what I do for my people, and of course the women out there in this world making things happen day to day.
Well, you are definitely one of them, and you're leading the pack in doing that. I want to thank you for this. She took the initiative. She set up the time. She did everything on her side to get this done. I was, in the background waiting to see, and she said yes. And I'm just happy to have you. I know you're busy. You are a big sports mom. I listen to some of your TikToks and some of your Instagrams, and the things you do with the kids. It's not only only about business, but you're about family also. So
Absolutely.
Once again, hats off to you.
Thank you.
And you have a beautiful mini me.
Yes, I have two mini me's. But thank you so much. I mean, they're teenagers, so help me with that, please.
Look,
it's definitely.
See all this gray? It's the age.
Oh,
you see
listen.
The face with the grades. That's what it's all from.
Oh, don't be fooled. I have those grays too. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's wisdom.
That's
wisdom. Don't hide them. It's wisdom.
Thank you. So we're sitting here looking at each other, smiling and laughing. We had a conversation beforehand, and I had a chance to meet you online and talk to you before the show. But I like for the audience to get a chance to actually know a little more about you. I always joke around and say I don't want the pamper story, and that when I was in the diapers and everything. But I want the audience to a little bit more about you, just tell them a little bit, where you were raised, what college, now you don't say the name of college if you're not
Yeah,
happy
no,
about
it's
them.
good.
They're not in the Sweet 16 or something right now. But your college, just to bring them up to date on who you are, and then I like to just go into some of your services and some things you do.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I am from California, Bay Area, gay area, and been here my whole life. I graduated from Cal State East Bay, which when I graduated, it was Cal State Hayward. So that's how I refer to it. And then I went on to get my master's, and here I am. I am a busy, busy, busy woman. I am a manager in the health care field. So that in and of itself is chaotic. And as you already know, I am also a mother. I have a beautiful family. And I'm also a coach now. I'm a life coach. And basically, my whole objective in the coaching realm is to help fellow women out there who are struggling with setting boundaries for themselves. And I like to focus on self because I think that when we talk about boundary setting, we often hear about setting boundaries for others, but I'm trying to bring it back to ourselves. It starts with accountability for what we allow as individuals into our lives and our space and what we allow to be taken from us. So I wanted to make sure that I created a safe space and platform for women and mothers, more specific, on how they can set boundaries within themselves and, of course, with others. In addition to mindset. Mindset is key. Any and everything that we do in this life, it is driven by our mindset and how we perceive things. And I wanted to make sure, again, that I have that platform available to where we can focus on mindset, changing the trajectory of how we look at things and moving in a way that we elevate and evolve as individuals. And I don't think we talk about it enough. I'm moving more towards being very transparent and honest about, life as a woman, as a spouse, as an entrepreneur, businesswoman, just talking about the things that we don't typically talk about. And I'm more so speaking to, women of color because, there's a big stigma around, us, especially Black women, having to be strong and holding it all together and not being weak, and just taking whatever is given. But we have to change that. We have to change how we look at what we were taught. And so, yeah.
Well, I must say, in everything you just said, I kept, and I'm looking at myself in the camera, and all I can hear you saying is, "When my sister wins, we all win. When my sister
Exactly.
wins, we all win." And
Exactly.
that's the mantra of this show. I'm leaning on that this season for my queens out there. For when y'all do positive things and y'all are successful, we all win. And I can hear that in your. I'm gonna give a key thing. Your vision of what you
Yes.
are bringing forth. So if you want to talk about um, how did your name of your company? What is the name of your company? I already know it, but what's the name of your company and how did that vision come about?
Awesome. So my company name is Jade Vision Coaching. And Jade Vision is basically the initials of my family, basically. And so I just, was like, yeah, this is it. This is the vision that my family and I have. And it's going to grow. And I mean, I'm starting the platform, but it's going to grow in different areas. So again, there's a vision behind it, but the coaching is that one side from it. And like I mentioned, it just came upon, it just brought about a life of itself. One thing that I tell people is I'm the boss mom wife coach, but I recently changed it to the boss mom woman coach. And of course, those acronyms, right? BMW, it's a luxury lifestyle. It really is. And that's what drove me to having that be the acronym for it. Boss mom woman, like it's a luxury lifestyle. But even with luxury, there are obstacles that we have to overcome in order to sustain the luxury lifestyle that we are trying to continue to live. but also to be open and transparent about, those things as well. Because sometimes we as women, we look at other women and think we got it all together. Like social media will have you thinking that everybody's perfect and life is just grand. And then you start comparing yourself. You think that your life is just could be better based upon who you're looking at. It's all a facade. It's all a facade. Like we need to be really honest about where we are in our lives and the struggles that we have and helping each other to overcome those things collectively. That's the luxury in and of itself, in my opinion.
Now, you telling me that you're not a jet setter from the pictures I seen on this online? Because if I saw this, I'd be like, this is all over.
Oh man, no, I try. I definitely try because I want to be not only, because it is social media, but I want to be motivational and inspirational to others out there. I'm open to having these transparent conversations and I'm diving more into it. But I'm busy. I'm busy, but it's not easy. A part of what kind of really drove this was me in my job and how I was just depleting myself and just having those moments of self-reflection and changing the way I looked at how I moved in my life. And I'm like, ladies, we don't have to move like this. This is not normal. This is what you've been conditioned to do. So I share part of myself with everyone and I'm trying to be very open and vulnerable. And I want to create, again, a platform where we all can, because again, social media will have you fooled. But what I post on there, don't get it twisted. I do live that life. Don't get it twisted.
I believe it. Let's stay right there about the vulnerability and transparency. Mm-hmm. I know that it's hard sometimes because then you may seem weak, you may seem less than,
right.
And you watch movies and you see when y'all have your wine nights. Mm-hmm. Or you'll have your wait and exhale moments. That's when you can be, vulnerable and, open up and, have a shoulder to cry on. Do you think there needs to be more coaching, more groups, sessions, more? And see, the stigma behind sessions and things like that is that you need help. But do you think that would help more if you were in a safe place with people of the same makeup and going through some of the same things, and you don't have to be like, I'm the only one going through this, and wait till it all explodes, or wait till some big trip that you're having, or wait till some one night. Wouldn't it be safer, or would you think it'd be better to have ongoing, or maybe that's what you're doing right now in your business, have an ongoing safe space?
Absolutely. I think that there are some spaces out there, but what happens is, and I can only speak from my experience as a woman of color. Again, it goes back to what we were conditioned and taught on how to behave and carry ourselves. And the saying, like, what happens in this house stays in this house. Mm-hmm. We as women of color are taught that. So we're not to talk about the bad. We're only to, talk about the good, and we can only share so much. And so when you get in a platform where people are being open and honest about what they're going through, some people, embrace it. And I think that it's important that we have that, because with coaching people, what I find is that there are so many women going through the exact same thing, and they feel like they're alone in it. And they don't know that there are a multitude of women who are going through the exact same thing, if it's not similar, but the exact same thing, and they're looking for their tribe. And I think it's important that you find your tribe, those people that you can rally around and have those conversations with, and have a support system in place, because some of us don't have a support system. And even when I talk to like single mothers, a lot of them don't have a support system. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, it took a village, right? And those women,
you had the neighbor next door, everybody.
everybody. And it literally was a village. Literally. In this day and age, you don't have a village. You have yourself. At least people think they do. And then you have, dysfunctions in family. So you feel like you can't talk to the family. I mean, there's so many different variations of issues that some women feel like they have. So they just hold it to themselves and they just go through it. And again, that goes back to us as women being conditioned to believe that we just have to push through and we just have to be a superwoman. And on my page, I used to have the saying, like, I'm a recovering superwoman because I thought that I needed to be a superwoman. And we know what the superwoman syndrome is, but I really did think like I had to just do it. I had to take it and make sure that everybody else was good, forsaking myself in that process, but slowly breaking down on the inside and having to show a brave face and look as though everything is okay when I could potentially be crying in my car, having a nervous breakdown because it's too much, but I can't let my family see that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women out there like that. So yes, I do believe that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So what got you to the point that you said breaking down? What got you to the point of being vulnerable? Right? You say you're in the health field, right? So I'm not sure if it's in the same psychology or mental health, anything like that. But what got you to the point of saying I'm vulnerable enough to say, A, something is wrong, or A, this is not right. I want to be honest. I want to open up, or I need help. What got you to the point of just releasing? Let me say that.
Great question. I think for me, it took the fact that I know God. So I had to pray. I definitely had to pray because I started feeling away. Like I knew it wasn't normal for me. And even in talking to God, I knew that I needed a release, as you said. And I just decided to let go and let God at the same time and trust the process. It took time. I really want people who are listening to understand there is no snapping your fingers and everything is okay. It can take a year plus, depending upon where you are, to heal, because I had to start my healing journey. And a healing journey is, you're always on one if you really think about it. But it took for me to say, okay, I can't stay in this place. This no longer serves me. And I have to set boundaries for myself, and I have to have non-negotiables, and I have to practice those things. And it's hard because I was a people pleaser. So it was definitely hard to get to that place of saying no and putting me first. But I had to in order for me to save myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does. In doing this show and the previous show I was a part of, I had a chance to speak to a lot of females, and I think males go through certain things also, but I want to focus on the queens. But I think a lot of females are going through the same thing, coupled with society itself, right? The other impacts of society. So not only being a mom, not only being in a relationship, not only being a worker, but the other impacts of society of for us racism, for sexism, and just all those pressures. So when I had a daughter, right? When I had my daughter, I didn't have her. Excuse me. When my daughter came into this world, I started recognizing more what the ladies that on the show was saying. I was like, man, if she has to go through all of this, and we men, we are supposed to be protectors and try to be strong. So I can put all this on me, but I would not want my daughter to go through half the things I've heard that your ladies experience, right?
Yeah.
So in saying that, like you said, being able to have a safe place and not get to the point of breaking is, I guess, what we need to what should be the focus early. How would you say we can help our young ones early?
I would say that one, and so for some people they might get mad about this, you need to heal yourself first before you can try to help your kid.
Oh, that's ooh, preach.
You need to heal, because how can you teach them when you don't even know, you don't have the foundation yourself? And that's why I said it's important that, we break the chain, so to speak. Because even for me, with you saying that, with me having my daughter, I even was like, I cannot pass this toxic behavior mindset onto her. I have to be better because I'm her example, right? She's looking at me. I am her teacher. So how can I teach her the right way when I'm broken?
Mm.
Right? So yeah, you're going to have to heal yourself, sweetheart, and own that there's something that needs to be healed, because some women are out there living in la la land thinking that I'm fine. But when you start asking them certain questions and doing the groundwork with them, they're breaking down because they realize, like, whoa, I have some deep rooted stuff that I'm carrying and that I am passing on to my kid unknowingly. Unknowingly. So heal first. But if you are in that process of healing, when you know better, you do better. And you can guide your child in the right way and teach them the things that you didn't know, and ensure that you instill in them, positivity, but also teach them about life in general, especially as a woman and things that we go to. Because again, we as women do not talk about what we go through. And it's amazing when you come across women and you find your tribe and you hear their story and you're like, wow, I'm dealing with that too. And then you start looking at the patterns. Pay attention to the patterns that are going on. A lot of times it's important for me to just be aware of my environment, what I'm doing, what other people are doing, like be very observant. Too many of us are not observant enough. So I would say heal first, and then take what you've learned and try to, in essence, pour into your child the positive traits that you've learned.
Mm. This is so enlightening. I want to touch on a couple more things before I let you go. But even before letting you go, I want you to know that you are welcome to come back to Cousin Ed's Corner anytime.
Thank
As
you.
I tell my guests, the red is on the bottom, the clear is on the top. So the cups are on the top also. So anytime you want to come, grab the dark on the bottom and the red cups on the top. So
Okay, sounds good.
I'm sitting there looking, and I wrote down suffering and silence. So it's just something that it came to me when you were saying about heal yourself first, and it ties back into one of your other services that I saw online about changing lives. How can you help people? How, not only you, but how can someone help someone that's suffering in silence and changing their lives?
Well, I first want to preface this with, I'm not a therapist. And I think that it is important that you don't lean on a life coach for things that a therapist need to walk you through.
Okay.
Because some things, like I said, once we start diving into, the groundwork of why you're where you're at, what is it that you're dealing with, sometimes we are able to identify that you need a lot more guidance than I am able to give, because I am not a therapist. I'm not licensed.
Can I interject right there real quick?
Yes.
Make sure that I'm clear on this, and I've spoken about this on another show. You would have, if you're going in levels, you would have family, friends, you would have pastor, somewhere in your relation. I'm talking about like your relationships, and then somebody who is also trained, that's a life coach.
Yes.
And then after that, you would have someone who is a actual counselor.
Yes.
And then you would have someone, because they're licensed also. Then you would have someone who is a psychologist, which is a counselor, right? Psychologist,
Mm-hmm. And
and
then you
then a
have psychiatrists.
psychiatrist. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure. So those are the
Yes.
levels. So you
Yes.
have your tribe around you. You have people that you talk to. You have church. You have pastor, and then you can go to get somebody professional who is trained
Yes.
as a life coach, and they have different life coaches to help you do different things.
Right.
Um, you may have a career coach who's also a life coach helping you
Mm-hmm.
en-
You have a business
enhance,
coach.
yeah, business coach. So you have
Mm-hmm.
different ones, and then moving forward, like you said, you will sometimes suggest they can go to a psychologist, right,
Psychologist or
or a
psychiatrist,
psychiatrist. Yes,
depending
okay.
upon
I
where
just
they
want,
are.
yeah, I just want to make sure that
Yes.
because you made a clarification, and I just want to make sure we are clear on this show because some people don't know the different levels of
Right.
the help that they can get. They think that I go to this person and they're gonna put me on medicine. No, then they
No.
may not put you on medicine. It may just be a
Mm-hmm.
psychologist who can
Yes.
talk you through certain things that have a license to do this as a professional. So
Correct.
sorry I had to
Correct.
interject it because I just want to make sure the audience knows widely the steps of this and who can help and how you can actually see certain things that they may not be seeing and suggest that they go
Exactly.
to someone else. So I'm sorry, I just want to interject.
Oh, no, I appreciate you saying that because I think that a lot of people don't know the difference. And that's probably why there is this semi stigma against, therapists and psychiatrists. I think with what we've been through in the past 3 years with this COVID thing, mental health has definitely been challenged for a lot of people, for a lot of people. And some people, if you're dealing with depression, that's not something I can help you with 100%. You know what I mean? So yes, so as a life coach, I'm able to walk with you, be your accountability partner, mentor you, and walk with you through, certain issues that you may be having. And like I said, I am a mindset and boundary coach. So that's my primary focus. But any type of coaching that you have, it really ties into the mindset in and of itself and changing how you look at, a certain thing and diving a little bit deep into why you see this the way that you see it. So there's questions that come with, coaching someone and walking them through their life and trying to, transform them to a place of evolution. So that's where I would come in at. And so I appreciate you sharing and defining the differences and the levels of it.
No problem at all. But after what you just said, it actually leads into the rediscovering me, which is another service you
Yes.
have. And I don't want to listen. Everybody who listen to Cousin Ed, and first somebody who listens to it for the first time, please go back and listen to every show that I've ever done. None of this
Mm-hmm.
is a sales pitch or anything like that. I just went and I wanted to find out more about you, and it's just our conversation is tying together. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to find out, the rediscovering me comes after you changing your life. So
Yeah.
can you go into that?
Yes. So Rediscover Me for 2023 is more about reclaiming your mind, your time, and your value. And remember, I told you, like, I'm focusing on boss mom women. And with those titles, we wear them. We wear those crowns, those many hats very well, very well. But even in wearing those, we forget about our primary crown, right? And that's us. And so, again, as boss mom women, we are there for everyone else and we forsake ourselves. And then we don't know who we are as a woman. And, we don't make time for ourselves. And we, don't know what our value is because we accept so many different things because, again, that's what we've been taught to do. Like, there are things that we just don't pay attention to that we are giving up. And so when I say rediscover me, yeah, rediscover your mind, take back control of, what's going on in your life. You're not allowing other people to dictate and control it for you, but you actually taking ownership and driving yourself and your time. Again, I talk to people, and especially women, it's like, I'm so busy, I don't have time for me. By the time I'm done working and dealing with the kids and, I'm just exhausted. Okay, but when do you make time for yourself? And I hear a lot of people come up, a lot of women have excuses. There's
Hmm.
so much time. We have time. We just have more excuses than we do want to admit that we have time. And we'll sit up and go ahead.
Look, can I? I'm totally going to agree with you.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the
Yes.
excuses? Like you
Okay.
said, there's so much time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that they're not putting themselves first in it, or they're
Mm-hmm.
not actually sacrificing the extra time for themselves?
I
Because
think that they're not putting themselves first.
because you said set boundaries. What I've
Yes,
seen a lot, and this is only cousin Ed, right?
of course.
They don't sacrifice. Some people, let me say that, don't sacrifice the extra time either for whatever else they want to do or for their self. So you can put yourself in the first part of it and say do the
Mm-hmm.
extra stuff, do the extra time later for the other stuff, or do the other stuff and say I'm gonna sacrifice these extra minutes later on so I can stay and do X Y Z for myself instead of shutting
Mm-hmm.
down at the end of it. They say I don't have enough time. So this it's all
I
of
think
us.
that
It's not only
you
women. It's not only women. It's all of
it's
us.
yeah, it's everybody. I think that you touched on a very valid point in that I don't think that they're making time for themselves, but as you just said, they're not sacrificing at the same time because if you want something bad enough, you're going to go for it, right? And I always try to relate it back to a relationship, right? A relationship, a romantic relationship. You will make time for that man or that woman, right? You will make time. I don't care if you went to work, took care of your kids, if you have 5, 10, 20 of them. You take care of all of those areas in your life and you will make time to breathe life into that relationship. I don't care how tired you are. But we don't do that for ourselves. And I think that it's important for women and men to treat yourself as if you're in a relationship with yourself. The only way that you can breathe life into yourself and grow and evolve is if you sacrifice and pour into yourself. You have to want it bad enough for yourself. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care. For me, I have to be selfish. And I know Yamla was like, it's selfless to be selfish. And I agree with her. It is selfless to be selfish. In order for you to have the things that you want in this life and to live the life that you want for yourself, you have to make some sacrifices. And that means you have to create time where there is no time in your mind, but there is technically time. It's just how you look at it. It's a mindset thing.
Well, I did on one of my shows, and I don't have the time now or the brain power right now to do the math on working 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's 8 hours a day. It's 24 hours in a day. If you do the math, how much time you have available for somebody to say they don't want to work out, for somebody to say they don't want to read, somebody to
Mm-hmm.
say they don't want to. There's enough hours in a day. You can do it or cut back. I'm on a cup half full. I'm the other side of it. I'm the one to say
Mm-hmm.
push a little more. Some people say push a little. I mean, there's no wrong answer to it, but I
Mm-hmm.
would say sacrifice because I can do a little bit more if I want. If I wanted,
Yes.
yeah, I can do it. But some people say, listen, cut out. That's why I wanted to make sure I clarify. Oh, understand what you're saying about boundaries. Cut out maybe something and say I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
do X, Y, Z because I want to put more time for myself. So there's nothing wrong with either side of
Yeah.
it. But like you said, if you wanted to get into that dress for this wedding, you would do it.
You're going to get into it. Right. And one thing that I try to make sure that I speak, because I want to speak life into anybody that's listening and tying it into what we're just talking about right now about time. I believe in micro steps. You have to, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you take 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to create a new habit, because it is a habit that you're having to create,
Exactly.
right or wrong.
Hmm.
So you have to create a new habit. You have to change your toxic habits and what you do, but you have to create a new habit and behavior and how you look at yourself and how you handle things in your life. So 3 to 5 minutes, like if we're talking about working out, just do 3 to 5 minutes. You don't have to do it every day, but you can do it, let's say, twice, three times, a week, like
Start
in the
somewhere.
morning. I always, because I am a mother and I know what it's like, because I have babies and I have teenagers now. It is definitely challenging when you have little ones, right? But I would wake up at 6 in the morning before I would get them up and start my workout. And I started with just 10 minutes because I was out of shape, but I started with 10 minutes and I built up my endurance, and I created, even on the days I didn't want to, like you said, because I had a goal in mind, I gradually increased that. So when we're talking about making time for ourselves, if you get up earlier in the morning, if you're an early morning person, and you dedicate 5 minutes for you to just meditate, read, whatever it is that will help you to grow and feed your brain, do that. If it's not morning, late night, before you go to bed, just 3 to 5 minutes. And you're going to create this habit and mindset, and it's going to drive you to wanting more of it. You're going to crave it more because now you're like, I like this for myself. I need this for myself. And you're going to, again, increase that time to where you probably will get to 30 minutes a day. I recommend 30 minutes, just 30 minutes to yourself. But if you can do more, you will. So it all depends on, do you want it bad enough? How committed are you to yourself and your relationship with yourself?
Well, I want to make sure, make disclaimers out there. We're not saying anyone is not doing enough, right?
Of course not. No.
No, I mean, because
Everybody's different.
come
Everyone's
across,
life is different.
I've sometimes come across that I don't understand. I'm insensitive, and I want to make sure that I'm learning. Right, I'm also learning, and like you said, everyone's different.
Yes.
So we're saying that if you can try, and what one of my other guests, Miss Hart, told me, if you have a purpose, don't just do anything without a purpose. So purpose, define your purpose, and it goes back to rediscovering me. Define your purpose, and then it may guide you or lead you to do some other things. So I want to put that as out there that we were not. I was not. Cause I let that question. Not trying to be insensitive to say that you're not.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Because again, as a woman, we do so much, and it's just a factor of, like you said, finding your purpose, and what's of significance to you. And again, that's where the coaching comes in, because we dive deep into that. Like, what is it that you want for yourself? And some people think they know and they really have no idea. And so that's where we walk through that together and identifying what it is that they truly want for themselves. And we start from ground one. And it's the smallest thing. Like, one example I'll give you, and I'll leave you with it, is writing down what it is that you want for yourself, but you got to be very specific and descriptive and using SMART goals, right? Everyone doesn't know what that is, but we walk through that. And like, one thing that I did for myself is I wrote down my things, and I said, well, what's the easiest thing I could do? Because we're always going to gravitate towards the easy, not the hardest. And it was like, okay, praying more. Okay. I said, okay.
Easy.
Right. Easy. I could pray more. But for some, it might be hard. But it's like, okay, now that we identified that the easiest thing, what steps do we need to take to ensure that you're creating that routine and habit of praying more? And we'll walk through that. And then here's the accountability part. Check in. You know what I mean? And how do you feel? So it's starting with the easy and then gradually increasing to other areas of your life. But just the smallest thing, the simplest thing can start to change a whole lot in your life that you didn't know that could happen, because, you're not challenging yourself in that way. But sometimes you just need someone to help guide you through that and help you to walk through life, like I said.
Well, you definitely are definitely qualified. From everything I've heard today and everything I've seen online, you're definitely qualified. And I like my audience to know where can they find you at? Social media, websites, media, any other media. Where can they find you at?
Oh, awesome. So I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So name is Coach Jazemine. So if you go on to Facebook, or should I say, I'm primarily on Instagram and TikTok. But if you go on to Facebook, I am on there under Coach Jazemine. all together. If you were to go on to Instagram, you can find me on there under Coach Jazemine, but it's Coach underscore Jazemine. Again, Coach underscore Jazemine. And then if you wanted to find me on TikTok, I am on TikTok. My name on there is Coach.Jazemine, or should I say period? So Coach period Jazemine. So you can find me there. And then, of course, I have my own website, www.jadevision.com. And that's JAAEDVISION.com, jadevision.com. You can find me there. And if you would like to schedule a Rediscover Me call, you can click the link. We'll schedule some time. And even if you just wanted to chat, I'm here for it. Because, again, I think it's important that I create a platform for women for us to talk things out and have a tribe. And so I'm here for that.
That is definitely appealing. Hopefully some people will take you up on it. I will also put her information in the show notes. One thing you did mention is SMART goals.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know what they are. I will try to find a link to it and see if they can print it out. If you have one already available, I'll actually do that. That way they can go and find it, at least see what it is. But it has helped me throughout my career. Luckily, the company I was previously with introduced it to me. I'd never learned anything about it in school, college, anything, until I got to a company that was career oriented and trying to move forward. So had a chance to learn about it a long time ago. So I always go back to it when I feel unfocused. So if you have one that you'd like for me to post, I'll definitely post inside of the show notes also. Friends, family, loved ones, this episode has been amazing. As you know, I another gym. That's all I can say. Another gym. Jazemine the gym. She, like I said before, hopefully will be back again on Cousin Ed's Corner. If you want to reach her or you want to leave a voicemail for her, definitely send a text to 762-333-2032. That's 762-333-2032. Any text messages I'll definitely forward and read on another show. Also, you can leave a voicemail for her if you go to cousinedscorner.com. That's cousinedscorner.com. Across the top of the page, you will see the leave voicemail section. Leave a voicemail for her. I send all voicemails to my guests and try to play them on the show. So please, just let's engage. Let's engage on this one. Let's have a tribe. Let's talk about this. This was a great episode, Coach. I appreciate you joining us. Any last words you want to leave with the audience?
I would just say that I want to appreciate you for allowing me to come on this platform and share who I am and what I do. There's definitely a lot more to unpack with what I do, but I appreciate, again, you allowing me to come here. And I hope that, women out there find their tribe and heal from whatever may be consuming them, and finding time to rediscover themselves. So if you are in need of someone to help walk with you, I am more than happy to be that pillar for you. And you can feel free to reach out to me as well.
I appreciate you. I definitely do appreciate you. Family, friends, it's your boy Cousin Ed. As you already know, I love you. I love you. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Have a great one. Peace.
Hey, beautiful people. This is Coach Jazemine of Jade Vision Coaching at www.jadevision.com. And when I am not in full mompreneur mode, I am listening to Cousin Ed's Corner.
Hey, y'all. Aisha here, founder and CEO of the Sistahs in Business Expo, the country's only multi-city small business expo and community created to celebrate and educate entrepreneurial women of color. Be sure to tune in to the next episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. And remember, when my sister wins, we all win.
This episode of Cousin Ed's Corner was brought to you by the Sister Shop. Please be sure to visit them at thesistahshop.com. That's THESISTAHSHOP.com. thesistahshop.com. Thank you for listening to Cousin Ed's Corner.